Well, hello everybody. Please excuse my background over here. It's a little bit messy, but just got back for the weekend. Haven't had time to clean the room yet. But I hope everybody's doing well. Um, yeah. Anybody who, well, hello, Aiden. My day has been great. I'm actually gonna, start out by talking a bit today, so I hope people can handle that. Um, I just want to talk about how the last week has been for me because obviously, I haven't streamed since last Monday. That was due to a lot of factors. I did say that it might be tough for me to keep my streaming schedule up that I currently have right now of Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But I do want to really try to stick to that. And barring any other extenuating, yeah, that's a word. Why not? Why not? I haven't streamed in a week, so why not? Extenuating circumstances. I am gonna really try to keep that stream schedule, because that gives me plenty of time to do all my other stuff outside. It's just the last week, I was dealing with some other stuff that definitely needed my attention. So, to talk about how the last week has been going for me, I gotta kind of go back, maybe a little bit further. It's hard to, I can't remember exactly what I want to say is that I've had a turning point in terms of my thought process and my personal mental health, and it's been a very good turning point, and I've been enjoying it a lot. Um, and that is that I just have a generally much more. Hi, Mama. That's my mom in the chat, everybody. If you're curious, but she said that she'd come watch at least this part where I'm talking about my old upstairs. So appreciate you watching, Mama. Um, yeah. So I've had this positive turning point that probably happened at the beginning of last week. I don't even know why it happened, but I'm happy that it did because essentially what I said in my mind was like I don't want to be negative anymore. Like a lot of these negative thoughts that I've had over the years, and just this, I haven't been a super outwardly negative person. I would say that my outlook was pretty average in terms of whether it was positive or negative. Like I could have good days and bad days just like anyone else, but it really wasn't working for me because when I would feel bad, I would just feel so bad, and I would let it affect me in ways that would carry over inappropriately to other parts of my life. And also I don't want this part to sound like I'm, feel bad for me or anything like that, because like I said, I have turned a corner. I'm getting to that, but I have to talk about what led up to it first. But yeah, I just had this realization that when I'm actively trying to be positive and smile a lot and just see the positive side of things, for lack of a better way to put it, I feel better, the people around me feel better, and it really does truly open doors because in the last week I've just gotten through situations that if I didn't have a positive attitude about them, they would have been much harder to get through. Honestly, there have been some problems with communication, and I'll get to that a little bit. Um, but but yeah, I've just realized that overall I feel so much better when I am choosing happiness, and I can try to give you any example that I can think of. I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, you know what? I had a track meet this weekend, so that's a great opportunity for an example. I was like, I really wanted to carry this positive attitude into my track meet because it was my first outdoor track meet of the season, the first for the school that I compete for in a while since last spring. And although I've been training super hard for that, really hard. It's been like taking over a lot of my life in a good way, because I've been super focused on it, and it's been a positive thing for me. But in the past, track while it's been overall a positive thing for me, it has it, it is definitely overall a positive thing. But there were moments in my track career, plenty of them, where I let a lot of self doubt sink in, and I was just really not handling things in the best way. Like for example, if I would not perform as well as I wanted to in pole vault, like that's an understatement, but if I would, you know, try to pole vault and I didn't make any heights for that day, meaning that I, you know, got 0 marks, so I get last place. And then for decathlon, it means I get 0 points for that, but that's more complicated to talk about. In any case, I didn't do well objectively, and I would do things like I would swear at myself. It's all at myself. It's always been like anger toward myself. I'd never tried to direct it at other people. Um, but it still had an effect on other people, and people would tell me that. And like I had close friends that told me that they didn't want to watch me pole vault because it would traumatize them, or not necessarily traumatize them, but it brought back feelings from other moments in their life where people would yell and it didn't make them feel good. By the way, Bully Man T How, that sounds like somebody that I know. Sounds like somebody that I know, but they would have to type in the chat and let me know for sure. But Bullyman TV, how? Thank you. That's the name I'm seeing. Thank you for following the Twitch. Appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, like the people, they told me that they didn't like the person that I was essentially when I didn't do well enough for my impossible standards, by the way, for track. Um, and that really wasn't a good feeling. And not only did it affect other people in a negative way when I was reacting very negatively, like I said, swearing, throwing my shoes, hitting myself, like the just inappropriate, not didn't deal with things well, and it wasn't good for anybody. In particular, me, like it didn't make me better at pole vault. I thought that being crazy competitive with myself and setting the highest possible expectations and just, you know, kind of bullying myself in a way, making myself feel bad for performing poorly. Um, I thought that was going to make me better. And in some ways, like I got better. So I guess that's why I thought that it was working. But I don't think that those were the real reasons why I was getting better, if that makes sense. I mean, the training I did outside of that was a positive thing, and that made me better. But bullying myself and being negative towards myself, that only ever caused problems for myself. So with this corner that I've turned, to bring it back to the positive side, I decided that this season, my last season of track, competing for my school, I would try to keep a very, like, overly, like excessively positive attitude during my meets, and that would serve me so much better. And it was proven on Saturday. I had like I was in a great mood pretty much all day. Like um my first event was pole vault, and I I was also coaching another buddy of mine on the team, and I was positive about that, and because of that, he didn't do, as well as he wanted to, but luckily I had plenty of experience with that, what he was feeling, so I was ready for that. Um and I was able to, help him to stay focused on the things that he did well that day, and like what he should reflect on, which is a positive thing, reflection, self-reflection. And it could sound like I'm rambling, by the way, so anybody please interject and stop me if I sound like a crazy person. But I'm just realizing that I'm dropping a lot of frames on my stream, which is not good. Or maybe I did initially. Okay, it seems to be fine right now. Anyway, back to the meat and potatoes here. Uh, I Yeah, so it was just a much better day on Saturday. And there are so many examples from this week that from the last week rather that I could point to that just having a positive outlook and really just trying it all comes down to thoughtfulness too, because I totally understand if you're like if you're sitting there and you're like it's easy for you to say just be positive, Chase. Like there are so many times throughout the day I don't have time to, think about like the first thing that comes to my head is negative. Okay, I agree with you 100%. So what I've been doing this week is easing into it very much so. Well, easing into it in a sense that I'm not um, you know, trying to make it seem like the first thought that comes to my head is always overtly positive and is to, smile my face off and really just like punch home the positivity because I know that other people can have issues with that. I don't want to like push anything on anybody. But at the same time, um I know that when something happens or when somebody says something around me after the last week of doing this, I know that I can um no matter how negative the person's attitude or sarcastic, which can be um taken in a negative way and a lot of times is used in a negative way or to perpetuate negativity, um I can get around that. I can get past that comment that someone else makes by, interjecting my own positivity. And I wish I had, more better examples. I think that you guys will just see it come through a little bit more as you're watching me. Um, when I'm playing games is definitely a place that will be a challenge because in the past it's frustrated me a lot for sure. But with this new outlook, I mean, things been going great. I don't wanna mess it up. So I wanna keep going with it. And I hope that it translates to you guys as well, at least some people who are watching. And um, I hope that some people, try to adopt this mindset themselves because I really do think that it'll work for you. Like I don't think that it's just a me thing that that I feel better by being positive actively, like actually making an effort to see the positive side of whatever situation I found myself in. I think that it's universal. Like I I really think that it can be a good thing for everybody. So yeah, I hope that that's what you guys get out of what I'm talking about here. And I'll you know So my mom says in the chat, "Oh my freaking lord, I am so stinking happy. Think happy equals feel actually happy. This mama is ridiculously over the moon with the revelation." She is. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, my mother is 100% biased towards me, but she also has a very good ability to be objective. And if I was in here talking about positivity and and in reality I was actually um being selfish or negative in any way, I do believe that she would call me out the same as she just praised me there. But really guys, I do think that if you try and be positive and maybe take a beat, take a second and let that negative thought pass and think about it from a different angle, it'll elevate your life in a lot of ways. And yeah, I'm gonna continue to practice that myself. Now, that being said, it's not all sunshine and roses all the time. In the last week, while I have experienced so much positivity, practiced so many healthy behaviors um, that surround that feeling, um, I have also I want to make sure that I word this in in a way that's not going to I don't know. I There have been some moments in the last week that I have been what I would call very anxious. Very anxious. And for those of you who um don't know what I'm talking about there, or have never experienced anxiety themselves, first of all, congratulations. That is awesome. And I'm not being sarcastic at all. That is freaking awesome. I'm so happy that you have never had to experience that. A lot of people do though, and I've been lucky to not have to deal with it to this extent before the last week. But unfortunately, for largely for the most part, but there have been a few moments in this last week where I've been so anxious that it was actually scary for me. There were a couple of days where I woke up and my heart rate was very high for me, and I was scared. I didn't know what to think of it. I didn't necessarily know how to calm myself down. I didn't always know what the reason was that I was anxious because, of course, because I was using this positive mindset and still feeling anxious. So I was like, what the heck? Like, what could be missing here? Those thoughts did creep in for a second, but with this positive mindset, I have, and I'm not saying this works for everybody. I know that there are some people that deal with things a lot worse than what I might have dealt with this week, or they have to deal with this all the time. I don't want to say deal with this. I don't really like how that sounds, but who um who have this condition of anxiety, and um it affects them in their daily life. I know that they might think that I'm diminishing the impact of it, and not at all. Like, I totally see it's very scary. I would not want anybody to feel it for a second, let alone all the time, which is what some people unfortunately deal. Some people unfortunately they deal with anxiety on a frequent basis, if not like seemingly constantly. But with um yada 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 630, thanks for following the channel as well. Appreciate it very much. Um and yeah, I lost my train of thought a little bit, but the anxiety and then positivity, right? So I had to take a step back when I was feeling like that, and think, how do we put it seems very difficult, and it is. It's not easy. How do we put a positive spin on this thing that feels so scary, and like I should be at the doctor right now? And especially for me, someone who is I'm very invested in my own health. I work out obviously all the time because of track. But even if I wasn't doing track right now, I would still be working out all the time because I care about my body a lot, and that's how I choose to take care of it. I am very careful about what I eat right now. In the past, I haven't been, so but ramblings aside, had anxiety, got very anxious a few times, and didn't know how to deal with it. But I collected myself, and I was like, what is a positive, constructive way that I can handle this feeling right now? And the most positive thing that I could think of in the moment for me was meditate. And it can sound corny for sure. In the past, I've looked at meditation and been like, does it really work and stuff? Well, let me tell you, if you want to, there's meditation videos or sounds on Spotify. I used both in the last week, and it seems like, I don't, you might think I don't have time for that. And I've thought about that a lot too. Like, time is something that has been a big stressor in my life, particularly in school right now. Like, it's a demanding program and it takes up a lot of time, so that can be stressful. But meditation for me anyway, in the last week, my heart rate got really high and I was like, it needs to not be that high right now. This is one measure that I have to know that I'm my mind and my body are not really in the best place right now. So I want to actively try to relax and handle this in a productive way. So I looked up a YouTube video and I was like, meditation or 10-minute meditation. I don't remember what I typed in. And like the first thing I clicked on, because I felt like, I need to get into this right now. And I sat in bed and, you can do it pretty much anywhere, but I sat in bed. It's a quiet place for me and comfortable and sat up straight. I listened to everything they said and really tried to let go of the things that were making me anxious if I could identify them and just do what they said because the videos are out there for a reason. Like they do work if you use them properly. They can work and they work for me. Like I woke up with a heart rate of 112. Just to give you an idea, my resting heart rate is about 48 beats per minute. So 112 is very, very high. That would be like I'm exercising, and I was not. I just woke up. So I was like, yep, definitely gotta meditate. I meditated, felt good. Heart rate went down to 60, which is a much better place to be. And then from there, I just continued with the active positivity, like everything that would come my way throughout the day. I was like, okay, how can I, smile about this and and get to the next stage of my day, taking things, taking things quite literally one step at a time. And hey, Beavis, thanks for dropping in the chat. Appreciate it. Good to see you again. Just talking about some mental health stuff here, and yeah, just I was able to continue with my day. So even though I guess the main message I want to get across when talking about this anxiety thing that has been going on with me in the last week, well, not consistently, but from a couple of things, is that it can be changeable. It's not something that you have to be stuck with. And I don't want you, if you are experiencing this, to feel like I can't do anything about this, because it can feel like that a lot. Not just with anxiety, but with a lot of things in life that are hard. And yeah, so if you're having if you're finding yourself to be really anxious at a certain point in the day that you're like, I need to calm down, I don't really know how, maybe meditating will work for you. Maybe thinking about all the good things that you've done that day. Like I know that a really good technique for being positive and helping your mental state in general is if you just look in the mirror at the end of the day and then you just list off like 5 things about like that you did well that day, or that went well that day, or that made you happy, or just positive things in general. If you list them off, and even better would be if you're looking in a mirror and you are actively keeping a smile on your face, that can help. It 100% can help. It seems simple, and it is. But simple things like that can really do a lot to change your mood. And I think that's super important to recognize, because a lot of people think that it's super hard, and it is when you're dealing with it. But whatever the case might be, whatever that negative thing, that negative thought or feeling that wants to get in, you have the power. Your own brain has the power. If it has the power to generate that negative thought, it absolutely has the power to generate a positive thought to balance that. And if you could generate that first positive thought, why not generate another one? And that balance will turn into tipping the scale over towards positivity, or you smiling, or you making someone else smile, which could help you to smile. Um, and I could sell them like a self help book here, but really, I just want to. I can't stress it enough that choosing positivity over the last week or however long it's been for me has worked so well, and I really want it to work for other people, and that's why I'm going to continue doing it. Not only because it makes me feel good, but because other people around me, I can tell the way that they just react differently to me when I come in the room if I'm smiling versus if I am just walking, just slumping my stuff down and not really uh seeming to take an interest in what's going on. It's like I walk into the room now with, I'm like, what's going on in here? What positive things does this room hold for me? What does this activity, like, what am I going to get out of this? What are some good things that I want to get out of this, and how can I do that? Thinking about that is so much more productive than thinking about um the crappy tomato soup that you just ate at the lunchroom and how that ruined your day. It's like, you know, okay, it wasn't, the greatest thing in your life, but did it ruin your day? Only if you let it. Only if you let it. Like, uh, I just want to express you have control. You have more control than you think because for years, for probably, if I can give a realistic number to how long I felt, like I didn't have control over those negative emotions, particularly for me, it was anger. I would say when I was 6 or 7 years old, maybe, is the furthest back that I can remember being negative and allowing that anger to come in and feeling like I genuinely did not have control over my emotions 100% of the time because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Sometimes I would, whether it be like I struck out in a baseball game when I was 6 and, I would throw my helmet and people would tell me, take a deep breath, count to 10. Those things are really good places to start for sure, but they're not the whole solution. Um, the whole solution is an ongoing process that can last your whole life. If you have those thoughts that keep creeping in, those negative thoughts or feelings of I'm not good enough or I'm I'm stupid or I am bad or I didn't do this well, I didn't do that well. It's important to recognize things that you could do better, but only for a second, only to realize that those are things that you can change, and that's the positive spin on that. If something negative happened, think about what you can do to change it or to change something else so that negative thing doesn't have to happen again. You have control over it because now you have information. New situations can be super scary for that reason because they are full of possibility, first of all, which is an awesome thing. But because you haven't been in that situation before, it's possible that it won't go perfectly. And a lot of things in life don't the first time, or the second time, or the third time. But focusing on what is in your control is so much more productive than dwelling on things that aren't. And when you dwell on things that happened in the past, that is what you're doing. You're focusing on something that you literally cannot control. If you're focusing on a test grade, so say you just got a test back and you got a 60 on this test. Just to put an example to what I'm saying so it doesn't sound so unrelatable. I I get a test back, I got a 60 on a test. Man, let's see. What are what are the questions that I got wrong? That's what I want to look at because that's where I need to improve in order to not get a 60 again. But when I read those questions that I got wrong, I don't want to be like, "Ah, man, I'm so dumb for getting that wrong. Oh man, I should have known that one. Oh man, and then think about that for the rest of the day." That is much less productive than if you look at what you got wrong and be like, "Okay, so I got these wrong. Kind of stinks, but here's the positive spin. I have a lot to improve on. Like I have things that I can focus on then that I can then, go back and I know like this poor test grade informs what I'm going to do for the next week or 2 or 3 until the next test or the next time that you need to know that information. And you know that there's something that you can do about it because, reflecting on that bad grade shouldn't consist of being like, oh man, I did all this stuff wrong. It should be, why did this happen? And how can here's the positive part. Here comes here comes the positivity. Here comes the plus sign. Get ready for it. He's coming. What can I do to better prepare or go about this in a better way leading up to the next test or the next challenge or the next track meet or the next, whatever the next thing is? It informs what's going to happen because it gives you information that you didn't have before. So you've got to take that information and you've got to use it to your advantage because you now know all of the things that you struggled with on the last test. Because leading up to the first test, you're like, okay, I don't know what I don't know. I'm just kind of, studying as much as I can, maybe. Or maybe that's the reason that you didn't do too well. Is, I've had plenty of tests where I'm like, I didn't study well. But, if I'm like, okay, I didn't study as much as I should have for this test. Let's not dwell on what we did then. Let's control what we can do now, right? So because I didn't study well enough and I got a 60 on this test, that means I should start studying this early, whether it be a week before the test or literally study the stuff now that you know that you need improvement on. And, that will make my test grade better. If you didn't have things to point to that caused that could have possibly caused that, then you wouldn't have things to improve on. So you have to just recognize the things that led up to the feeling that you don't want to experience again and do what's in your control to prevent that feeling from happening again. You have that control. The challenge comes from being able to reflect on that and recognize that yourself. You really have to think big picture about anything that could have caused that to happen. It's a tough skill. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's easy to do. I'm not going to sit here and say that I have had zero doubts over the last week of whether continuing to actively choose the positive thing to say or the positive thing to think or the positive thing to do was I don't remember how I framed that, but I'm not going to pretend like that was easy 100% of the time. Because there were times where I was like, this is taking some of my effort. But when I felt like that, I could think to myself, sure, it takes effort, but a lot of times good things do take effort. And what are the positive things that I'm going to get out of this? Like the effort that I'm putting forth, first of all, isn't a bad thing. That's a good thing because I'm working towards a positive thing objectively. But I just feel like I'm rambling so much, but I hope you guys are getting something out of this. Yeah, I'll cut myself off there for a second. Let's take a deep breath. Okay. See that is one thing that I've been doing this week as well when I find myself losing center or getting a little bit off balance, off track. Sometimes a deep breath can help. It helps you to, you know, it helps. First of all, it helps your body come down. If I can take it to a physical therapy or a medical standpoint, it, focusing on your breathing helps with gas exchange within the lungs, and which helps your blood to be oxygenated, which allows your heart to work the way that it's supposed to, which helps your heart pump blood to the rest of your body, which makes you stay alive. Surprise, it all is connected, okay? Yeah, we'll bring it back from that nerdy place for a sec. But yeah, control what you can control, and maybe loosen your grip on the things that you can't, because they're not going to make you as good as focusing. You could waste energy by focusing on things that you truly can't control. Like things in the past, you really can't control them. You can control your response to them, but things that already happened, you can't change what happened. Like we don't have time machines yet, and according to a lot of scientists, we never will. Um, but yeah, you can't go back and make that different. All you can do is, you know, react and make sure that if you're put in a similar type of situation, deal with it in a better way. Like the things that went wrong or that you could have done better to avoid a situation like that bred negativity, or that made that test harder, or um or that you know caused you to get beat up, which violence is not good, to address some current events that are happening uh at this time. Violence, no bueno. Let's not do it. Let's not be violent. Let's love each other a little bit more. That'll be part of my message as well. Um yeah. Let's shift gears a little bit. And just briefly, I'll get into the games pretty soon, but just briefly, I want to talk about communication as well. Specifically, in a way that is productive and professional, and makes sure that everybody's on the same page. Um, there, I don't want to make this too personal to myself, but I have been in some situations recently where where they went further than they needed to, and I'll explain a little better. So, in my opinion, if you are in a situation, whether it be a workplace, a team, a friend group, it could be anything that involves multiple people, and there is a problem that you have with what someone else is doing, or you have a concern about what someone else is doing, or you think what someone else is doing in the workplace is unsafe, then you have an opportunity, when you recognize that, to bring that to the person's attention that might be at the center of that, or at the source of what's happening that you don't like. And if you bring it to their attention immediately, that not only makes it so that you don't have to think about what they're doing too much, because you know that you've already done your part in bringing it up to them. But for that person, they might not even know that what they're doing is affecting you in a negative way, or is not the correct thing to do. So, and I think that a lot of this is kind of continued or perpetuated um, by the way that society communicates today, aka over social media. But if you recognize something that's happening and you don't think that it's perfect or optimal or good, and you could bring it up to that person, you should do that as soon as possible in most scenarios. Like I'll just give an example from my own life, and it makes me look not the best, but I have something in my life that I am responsible to do, and it's at the same time every week. And there were multiple times this semester that I was late to that obligation, and it's a group sort of thing, right? So it's me and someone else working to help somebody else, right? Somebody who is not involved in the group, other than that we work with them. We work for them or to help them without getting too specific. So I am like the I'm supposed to be a kind of mentor in this situation. And I have been late to multiple of these sessions. I personally recognize that, and I needed to, as soon as that happened once, it should not have happened again. I recognize that, and there were things that I could have done to make sure my time management was better, and improve on this, and just make sure that I wasn't going to be late again, because it's not professional to be late when you know the time that you're supposed to be there, um, and especially when you're late consistently, that can be a bad thing. But here's the point that I'm actually trying to make, is that um, someone else, the other person that was in my group, they had an issue with that. They had an issue with me being late, among other things, but I'll use the lateness example to keep it simple. They had an issue with that, but they didn't tell me. And I want to make it clear, they didn't have to tell me. It's totally my fault that I was late and stuff, but we're just using a simple example. They didn't tell me, and when it got to the point of me reading that person's formal assessment of me on paper, I read it, and it mentioned me being late among other issues that person had with me, but I had not heard about those issues in the past or when they happened. So from my perspective, communication is really important to me, and learning from my mistakes is something that I really value, and not continuing to make the same mistakes is also something that I really value. So I believe that the best way to go about this would be, if I'm late once and that bothers the person, just come right to me and be like, "Hey, you were late. You obviously you were late, but like I just want to let you know before it becomes a bigger issue or something where you think you can do it like every week, that it I don't think it's professional. I think that this could negatively impact the person that we're trying to help here, and overall, it's just not a good thing. I have an issue with it. If I am approached like that about something that I'm doing wrong, whether it be late or whether it be me being late or something else that I'm not doing super well, or that from their perspective they don't think I'm doing correctly or well, I personally would much prefer that to be brought to my attention, in person ideally, and as soon as possible once it happens, or once they realize that they're not okay with it. Excuse me, that they're not, excuse me again, that they're not okay with it. And that way, you know, I, if I'm told once, even though I should have been able to tell myself this, if I'm told once that I'm late and that's not good, and that negatively affects the person that's telling me, boom, I'm going to make it a priority to not be late again. Or I'm going to address, if it's a different type of issue, or if it's an issue that they just perceive, or they they are concerned with um, something that's happening or not happening, no matter what it is, if it's brought to someone else's attention, someone else who it affects or who is causing that problem, that gives the person a chance to correct the behavior or at least explain why this is happening and why um or just like give more information to the person so that they don't have the wrong perception of you or of the thing that's happening or whatever the case might be. So again, to just bring this to back to that main point, communication is super important, and specifically if you're having an issue, don't let it snowball. Don't let it get to the point where it's going to cause a much bigger problem later on. Right? So yeah, that's a load off my mind, guys. All right? And I hope that you guys had fun listening to that. So let's shift gears once again, right? And we're not going to talk about something else like that. First of all, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that I've said or anything related that they are confused about? Or, does anyone just want to let me know how their day was? Because that is totally welcome, and I would love to see anything about how somebody's day went. Ideally, you'd keep it positive. If you feel that you had the worst day of all time and you can't think of something positive to say about it, maybe put one part of that day in the chat why you thought it was negative, and then I can try and help you put a positive spin on it. If I have that ability. It can be very tough. I know. There are some negative things that happen in this world. It's all balance, right? If there was no negative energy in the world, then the world would probably, it might tip over because that would not be as balanced. Wow, I say a lot. I think it's because I'm from the East Coast, but it could also be because my vocabulary is poor. So I should work on that. I'm going to take this opportunity to recognize that my vocabulary needs a little bit of work. And the positive thing to do is address it by learning more words or by speaking more and recognizing the fact that I am not using all of my vocabulary, right? So, yeah. I do it with so as well. I say so a lot to try and link thoughts together. But yeah, we are updating Fortnite apparently. Thank you everybody for tuning in and watching this positivity podcast. I guess that is a good way to put it. Yeah. So yeah, how was everybody's day? Aiden, Beavis, Tiao, yada yada. Mama, how are people's days? How were people's days? Oh man, I did not expect Fortnite to have I don't know why I didn't expect to have an update. I probably should have started that, but we're starting it now. I don't think it's gonna take too long. Yeah, it's at 17%. Oh, we're doing fine. We are doing just fine. That is good news. Bad. Beavis, please elaborate on your day. Please and thank you. I'm gonna fix my skateboards back here real quick. I'm listening. Ooh, that doesn't look the greatest. Kids? What do you mean like other kids at school, Beavis? What do you mean? Updating 81%. Yes, but just kids in general. Okay. Um so Beavis, why don't you tell me a little bit about like why you feel like you know, things went bad today? Like what went bad and maybe what could go better tomorrow? Um if you can think that far. What could go better tomorrow? I want to be clear. What could go better tomorrow that you have control over? Okay. I'll challenge you by asking you that first, and I can also help. Also help with answering that question because I know it's not always an easy question to answer. I'm texting someone back real quick, but Beavis, I definitely want to address that. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, you did a great job of that, Mama, for sure. Um, Beavis. All right. I'm speaking directly to you as well as anybody else who might be going through a similar situation. Um, so it's very easy to answer that question in that way and say that nothing positive could happen tomorrow or there's nothing in your control that you can do to make tomorrow a better day than today was. That is, it can be very easy to succumb to that or to believe that. From experience, I can tell you that that mindset will cause that to happen. Okay? If you've ever heard this, it's a famous quote. Whether you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. Okay? And what that means is that your attitude and your outlook, it can either open or close doors for you. So, I'll try to ask myself the same question. I'll try to put myself in similar shoes because I, of course, do not know what you're going through. I might have been through a similar situation, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to treat it like I haven't been, and just keep it general. If I had a bad day today, it's very easy to believe that I'm going to have a bad day tomorrow because it happened today. So of course it could happen tomorrow. But you know what else could happen? You could have a good day tomorrow. You could have a good day tomorrow. And that is way more possible even just by saying I'm going to have a good day tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to make anybody think that this approach to life is magical or that it doesn't take any external, any other steps other than saying I'm going to have a good day tomorrow. It takes other steps, okay? You not only have to say I'm going to have a good day tomorrow, but throughout tomorrow, it will be a good exercise to smile whenever you think of it, or whenever you see, you could make a game out of it and say, anytime I see something that I could perceive as negative, instead of taking on that negativity, maybe instead smile. Because here's the thing. You know that smiling isn't going to hurt you. It's not. And people... So let me run through a scenario, okay? I am walking down the hallway, and I have said out loud and in my head, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to be happy today. I'm going to be positive today. And then something negative happens. I went to the bathroom and the sink sprayed on my pants, so it looks like I peed my pants. Happens to the best of us. Has happened to me plenty of times. Now, you could choose to look at that and say, this is the worst day. This sucks. That is something that I could not control. And you are absolutely right about that last thing. That is something that was not in your control. What is in your control, and what I'm trying to get across here, is what happens next. Okay? Go to the bathroom. Water sprays on your pants. Looks like you peed yourself. Ah, dang it. Everyone in school's gonna think I peed myself. Here comes the positive thought. You ready for it? It's kind of funny. Right? Even if it, it looks like you peed yourself, and somebody else, the school bully, comes up to you and they're like, haha, Chase peed himself. Look at that. He pees himself. Look at that. Everyone, you got the proof right there. Chase pees himself and laughs at you. And then everybody else laughs at you. 100% could. I could take that information, that input, that seemingly negative thing, and internalize it and be like, man, I am such a dork. Nobody likes me. Everyone laughed at me. Or in that moment, I could laugh along with them and be like, you know what? Stuff happens. I got water on my pants and it looks like I peed. You know, stuff freaking happens, okay? Negative stuff. I don't even want to say negative stuff. Things that have the potential to turn your mood sour, they happen all the time. And your reaction is what you have control over 100% of the time. I am here to tell you because, and I can tell you this because I have had the most seemingly irreversible negative thoughts in my mind. I was like, there's no way I can control this. But you can. You can. I promise you can. Because I've been in the same situations multiple times, and this week, instead of treating it negatively like I always had before, or reacting in a way that did not allow for the positive side to be seen, I just took a second. Took a breath, and I was like, how can I make this something that I can smile at? So you do have control. There are things that you can do to control it, to control your mood. Because your mood, first of all, it's so close. Your executive decision-making center of your brain is so close to the emotion center of your brain. They're like right next to each other. And now, if you care about the human body at all or think that it works at all, please know that those things can communicate with each other, and from an anatomical level, a human body level, those things can feed into each other. You actively choosing to say or do a positive thing in reaction to something that could be perceived as negative, and that will have an effect on your mood. So here's what I want you to do, Beavis. Tomorrow. Start tonight, actually. Tonight, before you go to bed. And I'm just asking you. I'm not telling you you have to do this, but I'm telling you that if you do this and you do it right, it could have a positive impact on your mood. Tonight, before you go to bed, look in the mirror, any mirror, just one where you can see your face. And I want you to smile with your teeth, meaning like this. I'm going to make myself look ridiculous. Ready? This seems ridiculous, right? This seems like excessive. I do this literally just like so often now. So often that it doesn't feel ridiculous anymore. Doesn't hurt my face because I'm happy, because I'm smiling. And also I'm seeing other people smile, literally just they look at me and then smile. And before I was like, when it first started happening, I was like, man, these people are also happy. And then I was like, wait, I am part of the reason that they're happy because I'm smiling. But in any case, here's what I'm asking you to please do, Beavis. Please respond. Smile in the mirror tonight. Hold that smile for 30 seconds. At the end of that 30 seconds, take a deep breath in your nose. And then let the breath out relaxed out your mouth. Okay? After you're done with that breath, say one thing. One positive thing about yourself. Okay? One positive thing. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be things. It, it literally could be anything. It could be anything from. It doesn't even have to be relevant to that much, in your opinion. You could say, as a positive thing, I mean, this would be a very easy one because you just finished doing this. I have a nice smile. That is a positive thing I would say about myself. I have a nice smile. I have generally good teeth. I know that there are people in the world that don't have as good of teeth as me. So I am lucky in that way, and that is a positive thing for me. That I have good genes. I've brushed my teeth enough in my life that my teeth look pretty good. That is a positive thing. Another example. I got crazy hair color. That's cool. What the heck's wrong with that? I can name off a bunch more examples, but this is about you, Beavis. Or you, Mama. Or you, Aiden. Or you, Jaden. Or whomever it might be. This is something that's in your control. Positivity is something that you can add into your life. It just is. It might seem hard when you're thinking about it. That's because thinking and not doing, not putting it into practice, it makes it harder to become comfortable with. Or it makes it more difficult to feel like it's real because you're thinking it. But saying it out loud or doing it and seeing what you've done or analyzing what you've done, not too much, not over analyzing to the point where you're being harmful in your attitude, but standing in the mirror and looking at yourself with a happy face that just got done smiling, not done, but just smiled for 30 seconds straight, and saying good things about yourself can be extremely powerful. And it took me a long time to realize that. So I understand, Beavis, if you don't come to this conclusion right away. I understand if you come to my stream on Wednesday night and you're like, Chase, I tried what you said, didn't work. Try again. Okay? Try again. Here's a quote that I made up this week, and I've used it twice already, about to use it a third time. Every single person that was ever successful had to try first. I'm going to say that again. Every single person that was ever successful at anything. I hit the microphone. Every single person that was ever successful at anything. Building buildings, being an architect, music, acting, comedy, streaming. They had to try first. They had to. If any of you think that I'm in any way good at streaming, thank you, first of all. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming back and watching. I appreciate it a lot. But I didn't just flip the camera on and then I was a good streamer, right? That would be crazy. I'm a phenom. I'm so talented if that happened. And I might still be, even though that didn't happen. I had to try. And I'm continuing to have to try. It's not something that doesn't take effort. Everything that's worth doing, I don't want to say everything, but most things that are worth doing and working towards, they take effort. And being positive is one of them. Again, there have been times in the last week that I've felt a certain degree of doubt about this new lifestyle and this new personality and this new outlook that I've been adopting. And at times I've been like, man, wouldn't it be easier? Literally, I promise you I've had these thoughts, these exact thoughts. Wouldn't it be easier if I just went back to what I was doing for 22, 23 years? Wouldn't it be easier? And my answer to myself was maybe. It might be. It might be easier, but having something be easier doesn't always warrant the best outcome for yourself. Things being easier makes it easier, but that's all it does. That's really all it does. I mean, you got to think deeper than that. So yes, it does take effort. And I appreciate you saying that you will do it, Beavis, because I do think that will be a positive thing, one positive change that you can make that is actually easy. And when I say these positive things that you say about yourself could literally be anything, there is a zero shortage of positive things that you can say. There's no shortage. There's there's so many words in the English language. There's so many. And I don't know a lot of words in a lot of other languages, but I know that there's got to be a lot of positive words in those ones too. So, to anybody who is speaking in different language can't completely understand what I'm saying, I hope this gets translated in some way that is useful to you, because I want everyone around the world to experience the type of positivity that I have in the last week. And not only that, I want them to do it for themselves. I would much rather someone take a year working towards getting good at this positive mindset and this positive outlook, and be successful at it after a year of hard work changing their mindset, than somebody win the lottery and believe that is happiness, that they think, oh, I see, I knew it. I knew that it wasn't, something I had to work for. I knew that you just had to get lucky. It's not the case. It's not. It's something that you have in you. And you have the ability. You might not have the knowledge of how to do it yet, but you can get there. You can get there. And I'm talking to you, Beavis. I'm talking to you, anybody that's watching, or anybody that will watch later, or anybody that hears this, or whatever. I'm talking to everybody. This is doable. Happiness is doable. You have it. You do. I hope that helped, Beavis. I mean, it helped me just to see a response, and although at first blush I was like, man, I don't want Beavis. I mean, I still feel this way. I don't want you, Beavis, to feel negative. Okay, I don't want you to feel like these people have an effect on you that you can't control. That's the biggest takeaway I want you to get from this is I want you to be happy. And I don't just want you to be happy because I'm making you happy, or because someone else is making you happy, or something is making you happy. Like you're feeling upset, so you buy a shiny thing, and that shiny thing makes you happy temporarily. I would much rather you learn how to make yourself happy. I think that's one of the most important things in the world. I think it's one of the most valuable skills somebody can develop, because you can carry it everywhere, and you can, if you yourself, if you work on making yourself happy, it rubs off on people. It really does. I mean, people that I haven't seen smile in months, and maybe that's just because I'm looking at them in the correct way, or at the correct, I'm looking at them at the incorrect time or in the incorrect way. like literally when I would talk to them before, because of the way that I would talk, a lot of times they wouldn't, react in the same way that they do now. Like a lot of the people that I have talked to almost every day or every day for the last however many months because of school, I haven't seen the same reactions that I've been seeing from them in the past week. And I think that is living proof that one of two things is happening, or both of two things. Either my happiness and my positivity and my smile and the words that I say are making them happy and making them smile and making them be positive back to me, or my positivity and my happiness is helping me to realize or notice these happy and positive faces and words and actions from other people that I didn't realize before. So either way, my positive attitude is being consistently snowballed and fueled by itself and by other people's positive attitudes. When other people are happy, I'm happy. When I'm happy, other people are happy. It really is as simple as that. Yeah. So, thank you, everybody, for listening to that. And let's move from that into some Fortnite. And let's be happy. Let's be happy playing Fortnite. And by the way, Beavis, you are welcome. You're absolutely welcome. And I'm glad that you didn't I'm glad, Beavis, that you didn't, listen to all that I said and then just like, I'm glad you were honest, I think is what I want to say, about how you've been feeling and how you felt today, and that you didn't really know what to do about it. And you might still be a little confused, and it could be something that could take time and something that you have to work on, and I just want to express that that's okay. Everyone's different, and everyone will come to these conclusions and be able to make these changes at different rates. Like, there's no set time limit. It's literally just you live with yourself every day, so you have every minute of every day to work on this. That's one really cool and positive thing about it, is that you don't have to rush it. You don't have to rush it because, like, if you're not able to make the change by tomorrow, then, just try again the next day. And then same thing if it doesn't happen that day. Try again the next day. And making that effort is going to make you better in and of itself. So don't think that if you're not feeling progress, that you're not actually making progress. Because the more that you work on it, the more you're actually, you actually are making progress, whether you think so or not. As long as you're taking steps and telling yourself that you want to be positive. let's play some fork knife. Revolver. Sorry I have to go, but I'll be back. That's okay, Beavis. Go do what you need to do. Thanks for coming in here. At all. I really do appreciate it. Appreciate every one of you that's watching, actually. Thank you. Thank you for taking some time out of your night to just spend it with me. Makes me feel really good. There's a guy he was shooting at, so I'll have to be mindful of that guy. Gotta be a little mindful of that guy. Ooh, shots on. All right. Go loot these guys a little bit. Ooh. Oh no. I'm dead. Oh no. Oh, and I might be dead here. Let's go. Oh, we can't swim this way because that's where the zone is. Okay. Well, I can't get up that hill. I have some bandages. Can I take that in that direction? A little bit, yeah. Medkit. Gotta make sure I get out with no one seeing me.
Seven has a lead on the building blackout.
Okay, I see that guy.
Of course you
He sees me?
We think
Not sure.
we've located some secret imagined order anti-build plans. Secure them. We'll do the rest.
Ooh. Nice. I got a long way to run. Could I have any type of mobility, maybe? That'd be useful. Here's a type of mobility.
Good. Find the rest.
How do I get up here quickly? I could have done that much better, but it's okay. get in this bush. Seems like somebody... Alright. No building allowed, so we pop heals out in the open. There may be somebody up here. There's a bounty on me. Oh, there's a person in here. Where'd this person go? I heard him in here. I feel like I still hear him in here. Definitely do. You got a little too overzealous with that push. I have been there, my guy. One more. One more dude as well. I believe they were fighting over here. I see you. He definitely tried his best. That's a pretty good way to start off, I would say. That is a pretty good way to start off. I will absolutely take that for a first game. How many kills is that? 6? 6 elims? Nice. See, guys? Practice positivity, and good things come to you. Where do we want to drop, boys and girls? I don't want to limit my stream audience at all. I have a crown! I feel like they made it so that when you skydive, you pull your parachute lower than before the no build update. But I also haven't played in a while, so. So far today, Fortnite is going well. Ah! These are probably under those stairs, right? Yep. All right, let's go fight. I wonder if these people are up on the ship. Seems like they were. Definitely seems to be up there. I don't know if it's the best idea to push up here, but... I definitely don't know the best way to do that yet, but it is quite dusty. I can't see much. Very dusty. Oh. I don't see the guy that shot. Okay. Huh. That was a whiff and a half on my part. Ooh. All right. Oops. Oh, gave that guy that gay hole. All right. Wait. Oh. Nice. I saw that guy swimming. Oh, now he's on a boat. I could have definitely taken a boat, but I don't like moving when it's gonna make noise. That makes sense. Alright, let's run up here. Should give us a good vantage point. Oh, that person's very weak. Alright, I could use a medkit. Or a campfire. Saw that guy ahead of me. And there's a guy climbing up the tower. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. A little bit surprised we got out of that one, I won't lie. Hey, guy. This is not the best place to be doing this, but that's okay. Okay. There's almost certainly a guy in that bush. Okay, there's one guy. What are the odds in that he's in that bush? Very good, thank you. Thank you for proving my point. I don't want to engage in that fight because there's no reason. Alright. Oh, he has a much better position than me. I need this mini off. Aw. Man, that was a good try. That was a good try. I knew he was hiding in the bush. A little bush hider. Got 10 kills though. Tilted? Let's do it. Lots of snipers up here. Excuse me. Sir. Sir, you need to back up. Back up, sir. Ah! Thank you. You need to back up. They have to change this building. Get outside. I can't tell where those explosions were coming from. Oh, behind me? Definitely. They're so echoey. Are they like under me? Aha. Uh-oh. And that's all she wrote for that game. Go back to the lobby real quick. I might have to go to the bathroom. Alright, yeah, I definitely have to go to the bathroom. And fill up my thingy-majigger, so... I'll be right back, everybody. I can put on some music, though, so you guys aren't crazy bored.
I'm just a little bit tired, maybe a little too much, 'cause now it's hitting me harder. It's just a little too tough. It feels like I'm running from the world, just like I had something to say. Feels like I can take over control. I never had it anyways. So what do you want from me? You got me feeling like I'm never enough. Just say, what do you want from me? You give me nothing when I'm waiting for love. Just say, what do you want? Getting older, maybe it's just a thing about growing up. I didn't think that life could get any colder, but now I kinda feel it in my blood. 'Cause it feels like I'm running from the world, just like I had something to say. Feels like I can take over control. I've never had it anyways. Say, what do you want from me? Oh, you got me feeling like I'm never enough. Say, what do you want from me? You give me nothing when I'm waiting for love. Say, what do you want? Oh, say, what do you want? Say, what do you want? What do you need? Say, what do you want? What do you
I had some days I didn't wanna wake up with these things in my head. I feel like tearing apart. I took what's left of me and tried to get so far. 'Cause I won't give up. I'm looking for a new start. You feel the same if you
Oh,
were at the back
hey,
of my
howdy.
mind. Trying to be brave when everything is crashing
Who are we rocking
down.
with right now?
In my lowest when I was falling, I was
Okie dokie. All right, let me look at what do I want. Do I want this guy? This guy looks very cool. It says coming soon. When is soon, Fortnite? I want to play with him now. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, that is a great addition. Good job, Fortnite. Ooh. I want to see if there's, because this guy was one of my main people that I used. That's great. That's awesome. Epic. Good job. They're donating. It says Epic is committing all its Fortnite proceeds from March 20th, 2022 through April 3rd, 2022 to humanitarian relief for people affected by the war in Ukraine. Good for them. Gaming community, best community in the entire world. Best community ever. Absolutely. What is this? Ooh. Chloe Kim. We got Mary Jane Watson. So many cool things. Fortnite's so cool. Why doesn't it say what this person is? Remedy? My gosh, those are all so cool. I wish I played during that season and I could have unlocked stuff for her. Scuba Jonesy. Alright, who's the next dude on the unlock? Him? I have to claim all the other rewards first on this page. And 51 stars. How do I get stars? Challenges? Is that how I get stars? Anyone else know? Collect Omni chips at Mighty Monument. So there. Alright, let's do it. We're marking that. Thank you guys for watching so much. If anybody's in here watching and they haven't followed the Twitch or subscribed to the YouTube yet, I'd really appreciate it if you'd go ahead and do that. That'll let me know, first of all, that, you know, there's anybody in here listening, and also that you guys are enjoying stuff and that you'll want to see more. So it would make me feel good, and It'll allow you to turn on notifications so that you can know every time I go live or post videos and stuff like that. I gotta collect 2 more chips here. I wonder if there's any on top. I don't know what, like, radius is considered mighty monument, like, or what these chips are that I have to collect. Alright, let's find these chips. Well, how do you get in there? This looks like one. Alright, one more to get. Where are you, buddy? There it is. Last one. Let's go get involved. I'll see you. I want to play too. That's a little unfair. I attacked you when you were weak, but you know. That's the game. Ah! Ooh, did not play that well. I thought I had the sniper. I thought I picked up that sniper, but this guy had the power of anime on his side. So that's alright. I don't know why I have stick drift. But I clearly do. I don't know how to fix that. Let's go into the Zeppelin. And let's call this the last game. Shall we? I know I didn't play very many games tonight, but I talked a lot. And that was important. And yeah, that's something. If you guys came for the games, I hope you still got something out of the talk at the beginning. I have 2 HP. I couldn't tell if there was something for health in here.
Keep going. That is what we needed, I think.
I don't know how to get out of
Nice
here.
work.
Oh, there's stairs. Is that a med kit? Ooh. All right. Ooh, didn't have quite the shots. Did not know. There's a lot of like quieter sounds, it feels like, in this season, but you know, that happens. We had some good games. We definitely had some good games. Yeah, that being said, that's gonna be the end of the stream, guys. Just closing out Fortnite here. I appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate you guys who like came just for the games and bared with me through the beginning of this. I do want to continue to kick off my streams with a just chatting portion. I think that that is something that is not only beneficial for me, but I think a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about, my hope anyway, is that it translates into your guys' life as well. Like, I want it to be relatable, and I want these things that I'm talking about, particularly when they relate to mental health, to be something that you guys can take from, and you guys can help to improve your lives, your own lives from. And it's really not just for me, but it does make me feel really happy when I get to, you know, let you guys know about my own experiences and help you so that you don't, you know, fall victim to all the same mistakes that I made. Like, in my opinion, there's no reason that you guys have to fall into some of the pitfalls and some of the mistakes and some of the habits that I had myself for the longest time before I started taking a more active interest in my own mental health and my health in general, and just improving my own life, because it is something that you guys have control over. That's really the message I want to get across. You guys have so much more control than you realize, and so do I, is what I've recently realized. So I'm really glad that I get to share these thoughts with you, and that you guys are all very supportive, and that you know, you keep coming back if you do. If not, if it's not for you, that's okay. That's totally fine. I just want to impress upon the people that come into my stream that you're not alone in feeling some of these things, whether they be anxiety or whatever they might be, you know. Okay? So, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you to all of you for watching and listening. And I hope you have a great night. I'll be streaming again on Wednesday night at 8. That is the plan. I'm going to try my best to stick to it. And as long as I do the right things tomorrow that I'm supposed to do, that shouldn't be an issue at all. So, if you have not followed the Twitch yet, please go ahead and do that. It would help me out a great deal. I'm working towards affiliate, working towards that goal of 50 followers on Twitch. We'll get there soon enough. I believe we're, after we got our 2 follows tonight, Bullyman T. Howe, thank you very much, brother. And Yada Yada 630, appreciate it so much, both of you. I think that bumps us up to 20, possibly. 20 followers. That means we need 30 more to get to affiliate, which is, that'll be awesome if we get there. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching and following and doing all that stuff. And, yeah, the YouTube as well. Go ahead and subscribe to that. I appreciate it. We're getting up there, getting closer and closer to 100 subscribers. That'll be a huge milestone for us. And the TikTok and the Instagram as well. Go ahead and check out those. The links are in my bios and under the video for YouTube. It's in the description. So go ahead and check those out. Follow them. I post on Instagram, my Instagram story, every time I go live. So you'll be able to keep track that way if you don't have notifications turned on in other on another website. So yes, I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Peace.